Hey, Ross here. So I get a lot of questions every year on settings and which ones to use. So I'm going to do this video and point to it all year so you guys know what the best thing to do is. Choose your favorite team, whoever you want to do. I'm a Pittsburgh fan. Not really like a huge fan of college football so much as the Steelers. So we just roll with Pitt here. I'm more of like, yo, college football players, how are you going to do for my Steelers? Am I right? So it kind of goes over with Pitt. Since I'm usually broadcasting on Twitch, during college football games is my biggest problem. So follow me over on Twitch and we'll hang out together. Offensive playbook, team specific, defense playbook, team specific. You can do that. My favorite offensive playbook right now is Kansas. Go ahead and look at my playbook rankings, defensive playbooks. I'm still kind of up in the air right now. I haven't really chose that. Even teams, turn that off unless you want, like, Kennesaw State to be as good as Georgia. Skill level, we go to Heisman, baby. Quarter length, this is for how long you want to play. There's no like good or bad there. I always choose to kick in the first choice, and then I choose it with wind in the second choice since I like to receive it in the second half. But again, your choice. Kicking. Now, I did tap, but I think I'm going to do tap and hold. I think I'm going to go back to tap, hold, and then like you release it to lock in the power. I think that's what I'm going to do. It's quicker. Dude, some of these kicks are insane on the road. Wear and tear. I'm going to leave it on. It's kind of crazy at time for like Heisman difficulty dynasties. You get worn toward like crazy, so maybe lowering it than 50. Passing type. Placement and accuracy is how I like it. You could go placement. You can go revamped if you want a little better accuracy, a little bit more float on the ball. But I like it to be like as hard as possible, so I go placement and accuracy right there. Passing, slow down. Leave it off. It only works for offline stuff, but you can do on if you want to use it for offline. But online, there is no passing slowdowns. Pass lead, increase small. I was missing some passes, and somebody's like, oh, turn down your reticle speed, and it stopped missing for me. And then after I did that, it didn't miss. It might just be due to randomness that I didn't miss afterwards. But I'm going to leave it on 3 reticle speed for now and see how that happens and what happens going forward. So if you're watching this like a few months later, check in, go ask me, either in the comment section here, I'll probably see it, or twitch.tv/GutFox over there. AI wide receiver for user teams. This setting dictates the AI would attempt to catch for a user-controlled team if the user does not give an input. Leave that on. Yeah. You want to put an input, but just in case you don't, leave it on. The AI will play it for you. Tackle quality feedback. I kind of like that. Use it for the user only. Tackle quality arrow feedback. Turn that on. Not a bad idea. Auto flip defensive play call. If you're running like nickel packages or things that need to switch to the strength, yeah, I'd leave it on. If you're not, use it off so you can like manually flip stuff. I'm going to leave it on though. Ball hawk, leave that on. Defensive heat seeker, this keeps resetting. I wonder if this like just doesn't work in online play. I've turned it on and it just keeps turning off. Switch stick delay, switch this to none. I think it default comes on slight. Switch it to none because that way like a lot of people are using auto motions and then you want to switch over there at the snap of the ball. The only time that switch stick delay at like you want it on slight is if you make a lot of inputs and stuff, so you wouldn't want to like switch stick onto like a D line or something. And recall this year they changed the D-line off. To change off the D-line to switch stick is now the D-pad. Last year it was L1B and then switch or circle for PlayStation users. And now it is on that, so is on the D-pad. So you want to know that. Defensive switch assist. I turn this off so that way I can take over and immediately do it by myself. Control player art. This is so that way if you're like on your linebacker, you can still see what zone responsibilities you have just on your player. It won't show the whole defense at once unless you hit R2, but this will allow you to like be on whatever and then see what their player art is, their run fit, their zone coverage, that kind of stuff, their man assignment. Coach mode. Yeah. Do you want your quarterback to not throw the ball? I'm turning it off. I don't want them to. Player sliders. Again, this is very individual depending on what you want to do. I'm gonna leave it default right now. Online, you can't do anything. It doesn't change nothing unless there's a big glitch. But I think there will be sliders out there on the internet, on forums for like franchise, and the sliders will change. You need like different sliders for different like levels. Like All-American sliders will be different than Heisman sliders. So if you want a slider thing, go definitely take a look and Google it. There will be forum posts on that. Crossplay. I turn it off. I've had some pretty bad luck with crossplay. I know there's like desync issues. We don't exactly know why that's happening so often. I'm not sure it's related to crossplay, and the frame rates on Xbox go to 120. The frame rates on PlayStation are at 60. If you're on Xbox, you want to go up to 120. There will be a setting that is not here since I am on PlayStation, and the setting will have like you could go like visual quality, that kind of stuff, performance. We do not have that on PlayStation, though, so we're stuck at 60. So if you're on Xbox, you can go up to 120, but be careful as it might cause desyncs. Menu narration, I have it off. All these things I leave standard. I don't really need on the field. Like when the graphics are really large on the field, that's always really weird. Like the large stars and stuff. I don't know. That was always strange to me. It doesn't feel right to me. Controller vibration. I like that on normal to sense people are like closing in on my quarterback. Color blindness, to leave it off. Obviously, if you're colorblind, then you'd probably want to turn that on. And there's different things there for depending on what kind of color blindness you are. So that's really neat for EA. They've done that. Brightness, contrast, I leave this all on default. Quick chat off. Dynamic camera effects, I turn this off as it is a competitive advantage for them not to shake your screen on like when you're the away team on Stadium Pulse, that kind of stuff. And plus, it feels like it gave me a headache. So I changed the dynamic camera effect to off for the pulsing camera effects. Master volume. Audio, I turn music off because of content creation. Force off motion blur, yes. Some people like motion blur. I don't really, but you do you right there. So I force it off and I say yes. Penalties, standard. Online, this won't matter. Offline, obviously it will. So depending on if there's like too many offsides or holding, and just change that there. Player skill, again, this is more sliders like I talked about that you want to Google for your specific difficulty. Find it on forums for sliders for the best way of doing your dynasty. That is not what this video is about, since this is more like, actual settings instead of sliders themselves, because I have not played the game enough to know sliders because, the game just came out. Dynamic play call. When set to on, the options in the play call show and hide based on skill level. Turn the setting off to have options available at all skill levels. So this is more for like road to the, is this road to glory stuff right here? If your skill level is too low, they won't show it to you. Or does this not matter for that? I don't know. I leave it off as I like to see all the play calls. But again, I'm not playing road to glory. Play button call layout, I leave it standard. Previous play information, keep it on. If you want to know what they're doing, it's a big competitive advantage. On-field visual feedback, definitely. Give me my feedback there. On-field trainer, keep that off, though. You can't tell me nothing. Defensive pass coverage visual assist. Now, this is interesting. Defensive press mechanic on the on-field visual assist for press coverage assignment when playing as a defender in pass coverage. Now, how you press people in this game, and press is actually pretty good in this game. It was terrible in the Madden beta, so we'll see how what Madden 26 looks like. But in CFB, press with LB and then go over the receiver, it's actually super effective. So I highly recommend visual defensive pressing. It throws off route timing. It's awesome. As offense looks better than defense right now, but I do not need it because I know the buttons. If you don't know the buttons, sure, but I do. Receiver visual assist, enable to disable the instructional text and prompts for releasing off the line. So if you want a good release, maybe that's okay. We'll leave that to on because I'm not I don't really use the receiver, so I don't know those. So I'll leave them on because if I ever do go over there, I want to know what to do. Drive goals feedback. Drive goals feedback. Coaches will be like, great job, Fox. You're incredible. That's the feedback I'm looking for. So we'll go ahead and keep that on. I don't know what that does. In franchise, I think, or Dynasty probably. Bottom line ticker, yes. Please give me all the information in Dynasty. Coaching tips off. Can't teach me nothing. Pre-snap menu. Let's leave that on. Player names always on. Camera toggle on. Camera toggle is no longer up and down on the D-pad. Up is those substitutions, so you can only camera toggle down now. Just FYI. Passing cam on. I like it when it goes back. Offensive camera settings, standard. Menu narration, VoIP. We kind of went through this with the audio stuff and the accessibility, so it was so nice they did it twice. Audio settings, we also already did this. Do not know why this is in the settings twice, but it is there. And then auto subs is definitely something for your dynasty that you'll need to figure out on your own. Again, with the settings, what's best? How does your receiver play better? Do you want to keep them in longer? Keep them out longer? How good's your subs that you're fine going with your backups? So that kind of strategy you set for your dynasty, and it's probably best there. So that is the settings in college football and the ones I think that are best to do. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe, become a member. Thank you.